Hi everyone, welcome to our very first Yellow Couch Chat in 2021. I know you're seeing a new face right now. Yep, it's me. I'll be hosting you today for the Yellow Couch session. But also, as usual, we always have guests in this session, and I am joined by our very own Miss Ella Naiman for this discussion. Ella, welcome to the Yellow Couch.
Why, thank
This
you.
is the yellow seat.
Thank you. And unfortunately, I wore yellow, so I hope you can see me.
Yes, yes, representing yellow today.
Yes.
And today we are going to talk about focus and adaptability during challenging times. It's a very interesting topic, and I think Miss Ella is going to help us expound more on it and also give us details, examples. I'm not going to introduce her. I want to give her the opportunity to introduce herself so she can tell us a little bit about herself, what she does at Empower, her background, and why we should talk about this.
Thank you, Nancy. Well, maybe, I know you're quite newish to the yellow couch.
Yes.
But I'm not, because I've sat on the couch, I would say twice maybe, correct me team if I'm wrong. So I hope that our yellow couchy viewers know who I am by now, but for those that don't, or for those that are new, my name is Ella. I am the advisory director, and the advisory department at Empower is all about helping organizations to thrive and to grow and to improve. We deal in all sorts of different aspects of that: employee engagement, understanding how organizations can be better structured, more effective, performance management, how to enhance that, how to bring to life your culture and your values as an organization. And then we do team building, we do training and learning and development programs. So it's very, very broad.
Yes.
I could talk for the whole yellow couch about it, but I won't.
Yes.
But I hope that gives you a little bit of a summary of who I am and what I do in context of Empower.
Yay! And before I get further into the discussion, I don't want to forget to introduce myself. My name is Nancy Mbogoro, and I know I'm a new face here. I just joined Empower as a Senior Coordinator Engagement, so you'll be seeing a lot of me in most of Empower's engagements. You'll be seeing me in posters, in yellow couches, in videos, and of course the team, the whole team at Empower. So moving over to today's discussion, we want to talk about focus and adaptability during challenging times. We all know that today's business is operating in quite challenging situations, and I think challenge can be looked at in different angles. It can be external or internal challenges. However, whenever challenges come in place in an organization, there is often different forms of change that are involved. But before we get into change, I would like you to help us understand the interplay between focus and adaptability within an organization when they're presented in a challenging situation.
Okay, thank you. That's a complex question.
It is.
Thanks for
Please
hitting
help
me on Friday afternoon. A nice slap there.
Make it simpler for us, please.
Okay, well, to be honest, yeah, simplifying things is something I like to do.
Yes.
And I think it's relevant to this question. I would say focus and adaptability are two things that go well together, but they're not dependent or interdependent. What do I mean by that? I think you can be focused and adaptable. In fact, I think you need to be focused and adaptable as a person, as an organization, whatever the context. And so I think, I might be wrong, but I think sometimes we might misinterpret and say focus means this is my direction, I'm not changing it, and this makes me a more focused person or business. But actually, I would argue that's not necessarily true. You can have a mindset that is adaptable, a growth mindset, which we love, and you can think about how you can do things differently or how you can change things to make them better and still be focused. So I would say that's the key ingredient for me, is knowing that they go hand in hand. They're both very fantastic qualities that you need, particularly in business right now. You've mentioned challenging times, but I will also say that all times are challenging. Some more than others, but this is life. Whether your personal life or your professional life or your company, your business, whatever it is, you're going to face challenge. That is standard. So I try to, if I was to do a personal share, zoom out and say, let's not worry about the fact that this is a challenging time. There will be more to come.
Yes.
There will be many challenging times in your life. And so it's about being adaptable that gives you that focus. So
Yes.
I hope that kind of helps
Yes,
to answer your question.
it kind of helps, but there's being focused and being adaptable a natural state in an organization, or what does a team or an organization need to do in order to achieve that status or that place of saying we're focused and the team is adaptable, we can
Yeah.
be flexible, we can learn, we're proactive or something
Yeah.
like that.
That's a great question. So, like, how do you do it? Because
Yes.
it sounds easy on paper, right?
It does, yeah.
I would say my biggest hack on that is changing your perception. It's all to do with mindset. And this translates all the way to an organization. Remember, guys, organizations are like people. They have personalities.
Yeah.
And
It's a
those
living thing.
It's a living thing, exactly.
Yes.
Well said. And I think that when you're talking about being adaptable, it's not enough to just say the word. You actually have to change the way you think about change. So change or challenging times, however you want to look at it. Life is about change.
Yes.
And actually, one really amazing piece of advice I got very early in my career, I think I was 2 years in, or maybe actually probably a bit more, 4 years in
Yes.
working. And I remember speaking to the director of strategy in the company I worked there, and I said, "You're so calm. How do you not get stressed with all?" He's always thrown challenges. He had all these issues, and he always had to solve them. And he was very good at it, but super calm. I'm like, "How?" And he was like, "I'm just not scared of change. I just thrive in it. I'm ready for it because I expect it."
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's really cool." He was like, "My one wish for my whole team is that they would all just learn to expect and love and enjoy change, and then all the pain would go away." I was like, "That's really cool. Easier said than done." So if you expect change and you plan that, I don't know how today is going to go, I don't know how tomorrow is going to go, because we don't. None of us do. You can plan all you like.
Yeah.
You then create a process of an adaptable mind. You create the right conditions to go, well, if I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, I need to be ready for different options or different realities or different outcomes.
Yeah.
So it's about acceptance, it's about mindset, but it's also about encouraging that mindset within an organization. So going back to an organizational context,
Yes.
I think the companies that have been able to pivot challenging times,
Yes.
however they look for them, are the ones that can go, okay, cool, challenging time ahead, what can we do differently?
Yeah.
Or what can we add? Or what can we remove? How can we innovate? How can I take this perception that it's negative into a positive and go, actually, this is not a challenge,
Yeah.
it's an opportunity.
It's an opportunity.
Yeah.
Correct.
And that does sound like happy clappy, I know, and everyone's like, oh, come on,
Yeah.
come on, you must hate
Yes,
bad
you
times.
must,
Of
yes.
course we do, but it's how you get up and what you do next.
Yeah.
If you sit in that moment for too long, you'll stagnate, you'll get stuck,
Yes.
and then you will not survive.
True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. Very interesting answer. And I whenever an organization is presented or is going through a certain difficult time and there is change involved in it, there's usually two groups of people, or you'll get two kinds of responses to this change. It's either reactive or proactive.
Yeah.
So if everyone in the team is proactive, like, yeah, we're adaptable, we're going to be flexible, here's the new way that we're supposed to go because we're in this situation in order for things to keep running. But you also, in some way, get that other group of people that will be reactive and they're going to be rigid, and
Yeah.
you will somehow need to manage that group of people. How would you advise, or how would you take on that?
That's a great question and a really important point, because we're all different, we're all
Yeah.
human, and we all have different ways of processing information. I hope, and I think many of you will have heard about the change curve. It's a Kubler-Ross model. Please Google it, change curve. It's really interesting, and it's about the cycle of change, which we all go through in any change, but some faster and some slower than others, and some people go backwards in the curve and then they go forwards.
Yeah.
So the ultimate end point of any change is acceptance, but not everyone gets to that point
Yeah.
at the same rate.
Yeah.
That's the summary of it. But to answer your question, how do you help those that take longer
Yeah.
or struggle? It's hard, but I think a leader's role is very much all about that. It's about leading the direction of the organization and the culture and the value system. So if you work for a company that values adaptability and sees change as an opportunity and will give people opportunities in moments that might be a crisis, or pivot, adapt, then you're more likely to be able to do that yourself because you're given the right conditions. So I think it's a leadership function, it's a leadership responsibility to instill that. Even as a leader, if you are afraid or worried, which of course you are because you're human and no one thinks you're superhuman, even though many great leaders look superhuman, they'll have their moments and their support system to deal with that. But when you're dealing with your team and supporting your team and encouraging them, it's important to show the possibilities and to walk the walk. So you can't expect your team to do something that you're not doing, right? True. You've got to be at the front line. So I think that's challenging, but many people can do it and have done it and continue to do it. It takes practice and experience. And I think it's also identifying the people in your team that are on the right side of the change curve at the right time, and using that energy within the existing team to pull the others with them. So it's not like it's negative if you're taking longer to go through something. It doesn't make you wrong or bad, but you might need that little bit more support. So some initiatives some companies can do, I think, something as simple as sitting down with every single team member in your team as the leader or the leadership team, understanding what's up, how are you doing, what's going on with you, how are you coping in this moment, and being very open to hearing, I'm struggling, or I'm scared, or someone even maybe breaking down. I think adaptability is also acceptance. In that way. So I would say it's a joint responsibility, but mainly the leadership to drive that.
Interesting. Along the same lines, when you said it's a leader's role to sit down with the team and listen, what do you think is the role of gathering feedback, listening and gathering to feedback from across, from all corners of your organization in order to find the balance or to manage the focus and adaptability within the organization when you're going through that challenging situation?
Yeah, great one. So feedback, I think many people in the Empower office have heard me say this. Feedback is a gift. Even if it's not necessarily the thing you want to hear right now, or the thing you expected to hear or you were prepared for, feedback is absolutely a gift. And actually, without feedback, there is no adaptability. It's the enabler. Because if you don't know how you're doing, or you don't know where you could be better, or you don't know what you're doing well even, that all comes from feedback, you can't figure out the next step. So that goes for an organization getting feedback from their customers, that goes for an individual in a team getting feedback from their line manager, that goes for a leader getting feedback from their team. So, I mean, this is the work that Empower does. This is why we love what we do, because we support organizations to understand the importance and the art of how to give and receive feedback in a constructive way that is not breaking people down but building them up. It's a core part of the services that we offer. And I think, feedback is an integral ingredient to success. It is. It's just as simple as you can't move forward without knowing where you've come from.
Correct.
And getting a rounded picture as well. So if you give yourself feedback, or it's just your best friend telling you you're wonderful, Nancy, of course your friend is your cheerleader. So you've also got to get different sources of feedback to have a robust and realistic picture of the situation.
And just to add on that, I think with feedback, it also helps you to hear what other people are thinking. Everyone might have their own opinion or perspective towards where the organization should go. In turn, it also helps you to focus, actually, to say, you know what, based on the feedback we've received, this is where we should be focusing on, and this is what we should be adapting to. So actually, it helps.
It's the fuel. It's the fuel to your movement, because without the fuel, you'll just stop moving like a car, like a vehicle. So if you don't have that fuel in the engine, then you're going to stay where you are. And then what will happen is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years down the line, you'll be doing the same thing in the same way. And maybe that will serve you for a short time, but you will get stuck. And stuckness is comfort. So we all have comfort zones where we go, this is easy. This this is comfortable, this feels right because this is what I do every day, that's not growth.
Yeah.
And that will cost you later, because there'll come a point where that thing that you do, or that car that you drive, to use that metaphor, will be out of, be no longer relevant.
True.
And so you won't have gained anything. And feedback is for you. It's a gift. I go back to that.
It is a gift.
Yeah.
Well, to our viewers, I encourage you to, if you have any questions, if you're following us, kindly just shoot your questions, and I think we will find a way to reply to your questions, either here or offline. So feel free, if you find this to be an interesting area where you'd like to learn more, or to actually engage Miss Ella, or shoot more questions with her, she can also reach out to you directly.
Nancy, please call me Ella.
All right, it's Ella. So please just feel free to ask your questions, and we'll find a way to reply back to you. Let's move back to the whole idea of change. When there is challenging times, there is also change somewhere involved. How do you communicate change without affecting, like, oh my God, we did not see this coming, we did not expect this, and then in turn, your team loses focus, they fail to become productive. So how do you communicate change in a way that's going to maintain your team's focus and also help them to adapt in the process?
Yes, okay. So we go back to this change curve again, and remembering, as a leader or as anyone, you have to remember that change is personal in terms of how we process it. So that change curve is really helpful, because you know that we're all going to go through the same stages at different rates of your team, and to recognize and accept that they will happen not at the same time, and maybe you'll be far ahead or you'll be far behind even your team, and that's okay. So I think that's the first thing, is to identify, when you are communicating a change, how do people respond, get their feedback as a group, get their feedback one-on-one, notice the signs. You can see through body language when people are not okay. It's really easy to notice, and you can draw on the experience of your managers as well to support you in keeping an eye on the well-being of your team. It's easy to know, just like with a friend, you know when your friend is not okay. Why can't you treat your colleagues and your team members like your friends? I'm not saying that it's one big friendship club, but what I'm saying is you can identify when someone needs support and needs help, or needs a friendly ear or a shoulder to lean on in some way. So I think that's important, is seeing the signs. But I think it's also, on the other side, on the kind of learning and development side, it's also important to educate and support people to see that change is not bad. There's a fear associated with change for many of us, myself included. I'm not that great about change, but that's not how I thought it was going to be. But as you progress in your life and your career, and you get more experience, change is going to hit you in the face many, many times. For many reasons. You might be retrenched, you might have an unexpected newborn child, you might have to move house unexpectedly, you might, I don't know, have a terrible accident, or someone in your family have an accident, and that changes your life, right? So we don't know when those things are coming. So change is not always what we expect, but we have to be ready for it. And I think I'd also like to add the word innovation. We talk about this, innovation a lot.
Yes, that was going to be
That's
my
your
next
next. Okay,
point.
I'll leave it. I won't say anything then. But I'll close by just saying, unpack the situation a little bit. It's easy to panic as an individual when you hear something new. It's easy to go into that place that is dark and scary and negative. That's the easy thing for our brain to do. It's the survival mode, going, you're in danger, but you're not in danger. There's nothing that will hit you that you cannot overcome. That I promise you.
Correct.
And it's about being mature enough to notice in yourself when you're not okay. And when you're struggling. And I say this particularly as an employee, in your personal life too, but as an employee, if you are not coping, if you are struggling at work and you sit quiet, that is a shame. And it's actually your responsibility to speak up and say to your support system, which is your manager or your colleagues, I'm struggling, or I can't do this, or I need support. Because too many people suffer in silence, and then change becomes a negative trait in their life. So speak up and don't be ashamed, and find the right support.
Well, that's very well put. And yes, I was going to the next point of innovation actually. We would like to know, because we live in an era where innovation is like breakfast, you know, every single day there is something new invented, there's a new way of thinking, new way of doing something. And we would like for you to expound on what's the role of innovation in ensuring that organizations remain adaptable or focused when presented in challenging times.
Yeah. Okay, so innovation is a word I love and hate. I'll tell you why. It's obviously a really positive word. I can't deny that
Okay,
to be innovative. If someone said, "Ella, you're really innovative," I'd be like, "Why? Thank you." But I would also say I think it's become like a buzzword that like many people don't get, and they think it's just tech.
Yeah.
Like innovation means creating an app,
Yes.
and I really don't agree, especially because I'm not a techie. I'm pretty old school.
Yeah.
So in my definition, and I welcome your suggestions, I think I would unpack the definition of innovation to just be ideas. That's it. It's as simple as new ideas or new ways of doing things. And that can be anything. That can be the way I don't know, we could make this couch orange.
Yeah.
I like that one already.
Innovative.
That's innovation, if you want to look at it that way. Or whatever, you know, any change that you think enhances or improves a process or a system is innovation.
Right.
So ideas, and I think everyone has the power to innovate. It is the responsibility of every team member to innovate or to improve an organization. So I think that's the first thing I wanted to say is innovation is hugely important, but not just in challenging times, all the time. So again, I would rather zoom out of this, I would call it a little bit of a negative mindset, and I'm not pointing a finger at anyone because I know it's been an incredibly tough time, and I do not take that away, for us included. But if you focus on the negative or the difficulty, it becomes consuming. So I think innovation and ideas are for every day. Probably you have to switch up the volume when you're in challenging times, but actually
think
it's
out of
just
the box.
all the time. No box, like all the time. You should create systems and spaces in your organization for people to bring ideas, because the chances are the quietest person in the room has the best ideas, and it's not just up to the leader to come up with ideas. So I think that's one thing. But if I was to give an analogy that came to mind on change, innovation, ideas, is think of you, Nancy, you're very fashionable, I can tell. So you go shopping, you update your wardrobe, how often? Like every now and then, or do you go monthly? Wow, okay, I need to up my game. So monthly, you're updating, like, right, we need to clear this out, or I need more, I need to try this look, or whatever it is. You're not like going, okay, in 5 years' time, I'm gonna go shopping.
That's way too far.
That's way too far.
So
it's the same with innovation. You're innovating your look and your wardrobe monthly, if not more regularly than that. Some of us more. So why would you not do the same overhaul and innovation in your organization, in the way that you work in your personal life as well? So I think we need to step away from this big bad word, or these big, what's the word, not bad word, but this big unimaginable reality, and just create like day-to-day things that can make a big difference all the time. So not just for challenging times.
Innovation should be like breathing, literally. You breathe in, you breathe out new ideas.
Yes. Although don't lose your breath with too many ideas. You've got to also do the doing. So I think there's ideas, and then there's implementing of ideas. And let's be honest, not every idea is gonna be a good idea forever. So there's another process of deciding that. But I think every organization, particularly now, should be open to hearing from everybody across the organization of what can we do to make things better. And again, that's something that we can support with as Empower in our advisory function. But even if you wanted to do something small, I would say a CEO roundtable breakfast in your organization, and go, hey, I'm going to invite a cross-section of employees. I'm the MD, and I'm going to invite someone from every department to come and talk to me about what they think about how we're doing. And that's the kind of environment you want to create.
Well, this has been a very mind-opening, I would say, discussion. I think we could even use more time to talk about focus and adaptability. one last thing that I would like you to maybe say to our viewers and whoever will be watching this, what role do external strategic partners such as Empower, roles can they play in helping organizations, let's say in maintaining focus or becoming adaptable, or where does Empower stand, organizations such as Empower stand in helping out as external observers or strategic partners?
Yeah. Well, I would say Empower exists to support people and organizations with this kind of content that we're talking about. So change is all around us. It's happening all the time. Organizations go through change. People go through change, whether that's changing your job, changing your position, changing your company culture, mission, vision, changing the direction and your strategy. And this is what we deal with here at Empower, amongst other things.
Yeah.
So I would say we are, this stuff really sets our heart on fire. We love to get involved in supporting people through situations like this, particularly when they have challenges, because that's our area of expertise.
Yeah.
So it's been an interesting year, or last year I should say was interesting. It continues to be, but it's actually been very busy for us because we have had a lot of our clients reach out, needing support. And it's just like in your personal life, it's okay to get support where you need it. So I would say, first, to summarize, Empower, our mission is to be your trusted advisor. Whether that's helping you find your next job, or helping you get your next gig, or helping you to be better in your current job and give you that coaching you need, or helping an organization to be more effective, helping people to perform, helping in any way imaginable, anything to do with people is where we want to or are involved.
And sometimes when you have an external eye, you get to see the bigger picture than when you're within the organization. It's easy for you to miss on certain things and overlook here and there. You end up not actually accomplishing.
So true. And we get to step in, and I know we don't live your whole life all of the time, but for that moment, we give that fresh perspective. So, it's. I have to say though, really, I mean, this is very much our advisory function. It is a privilege that we get to do that. We know how immensely lucky we are to be involved in such strategic planning and decision making and supporting that for our clients and our candidates and our community. And so we don't take it for granted. When we work with our clients, it is all about meaningful connections and making sure that we make a good positive difference.
Impact.
Yeah, impact. That's the one.
Well, this has been a great Yellow Couch chat. I think you've learned a lot, just as I have. And if you have probably more questions, you'd like to know how Empower can help your organization, how Empower can help you in your transition, you're moving jobs, you're looking for a new job, well, you're working in a UODC or somewhere in the management level in an organization, and you think Empower can be of help somewhere within your structures, please do reach out. We have a website you can always visit. There's a number you can call. Our offices are always open Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 p.m. And we're very friendly people, as you can see. We love to talk, we love to chat, we love to listen to you and find a way to help you. So thank you very much for being a part of this Yellow Card session. Until next time, when we'll have another guest, me and Miss Ella are gonna sign up now.
Thank you.
Ella, not Miss Ella.
Not Miss Ella. Never Miss Ella.
Never Miss Ella. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, guys. Bye.